Hi, I just finished recording a pranayama practice this morning, and I just wanted to take a moment to share some thoughts regarding the events of the 6th of January in the US, and just how, as a white male yoga teacher based in a privileged environment. I'm based in Geneva, Switzerland, so we're pretty easy, got things pretty easy here, relative to other parts of the world, and other parts of the north as well as the south. It's very easy to um, look at what went on in Washington and say, well, look at all those racists and those white supremacists. It's them and us. But yet, I feel that there is a huge amount of work that we need to be doing. We can't separate if we're, especially if we're yogis, and that we are understanding the oneness and the connectivity in everything, that there is no difference between um, those that cause harm as well as those that create good. Um, but then there is a direct implicity, um, especially within yoga, especially within um, I guess the democratization of yoga and the spread of yoga that's been so vast, that we have um, kind of whitewashed yoga, and to a large extent, and part of that is the commercialization, and the kind of commercial and business aspect of yoga, but then also the that also comes down to the individuals, and also the spread of the number of teacher trainings and so on. Just means that there's a huge number of people teaching the practices, and I feel like that in doing so, we're, lots of white yoga teachers teaching to lots of white students, and there is um, uh, most yogis will understand that, from their own practice, that we're all connected, and that there is that we are, that our race, our religion, our other privileges, economic, um, physical, um, heteronormative, all come into play. But there are others that will associate, teaching a yoga class to going out and eating a Chinese meal, and I've seen that reference being made. So I feel like what we need to be doing is not pointing fingers at others, and saying, well, they're racist, but start to do the work at what, how are we complicit in our own racism, even if we don't see ourselves as racist. Um, you can tell from my accent I'm half English, and there's a very dark history, of English colonizing uh, the India and desecrating for 200 years the country, and stealing its assets, um, and in the same way that, yes, it's, English, my I guess my English ancestors are responsible. How we act today is also important, and that when we're practicing and sharing the practice of yoga, that we are acknowledging the history of yoga, we're acknowledging where it comes from. Yes, all of these things are universal. The experience of life force, the experience of the divine through the practices that we practice and we teach are are universal. They have no language, no race, no. But the tools that we've been given have come from our teachers and from a lineage, and we need to honor that. So anyway, so this is where I'm going with it. Basically, that we need to work harder, especially white teachers, and often enough I hear how people of color will have to are told when they're young that they have to work 3 times harder to succeed in life, to get that job, to get that position at school, to college. Um, well, my invitation would be to yoga teachers is to work 3 times harder, to be better teachers, to learn Sanskrit, to learn the name of the postures in Sanskrit, to understand the history and the lineages of yoga. And it's a constant process, but give yourself um, that that impetus to do the work, to do the work on what is white supremacy, what is racism, and do the work yourself. I'm going through that process right now, and I'm fortunate also to have a partner that is a race and a women's rights activist. So she definitely keeps me on track. But that's not her responsibility. That's my responsibility, and the responsibility is on white people to do the work, and to do it 3 times harder than um, any person of color or any person from India would needs to do. And remember, like the Indian the tradition of yoga doesn't need white people to bring it forwards. They can do it themselves, and we need to, we're in a space of that is sacred, and that we need to honor that space and honor each other and honor the history. Um, so voilà, those are my thoughts. What are your thoughts on the topic? I would be curious to read if there's other perspectives, other experiences. It's a journey, but again, we need to act now, because what's happening in one part of society, and it's not just within our own bubbles. It's not just within the US or within Switzerland or within the UK. Like what we are, our governments also have massive impacts on other countries. And hey, Cedric, how's it going, man? Are you in the UK at the moment? Yeah, some serious lockdowns going on over there. So yeah, so keep practicing, um, and keep supporting, um, and remembering and honoring our brothers and sisters in India. They're also going through a really tough time at the moment with COVID. So, if you can give back as well. Um, I know like the UK government have just cut aid massively. So they've gone from kind of zero point 0.7 of GNI to zero point 0.5 plus That's basically a 4.5 billion pound cut in aid to the rest of the world, and that's like a lifeline for many people right now, especially during this COVID period. So the more we can do individually to support each other and give back, yeah, it's good. And then feel free if you fancy joining me. I'm doing a practice every morning, 10 to 10 to 10:30 Swiss time, or Central European time. So that's 9 to 9:30 UK time for those of you in the UK. Voila. So just a few thoughts. If you have any additional thoughts on the work that we need to be doing, this is the right time to be doing it. You know, we've got a little bit more. If you're blocked at home, have a little bit maybe more space and time, and it's a good time to do this, so that we can kind of reset and refocus and go out there with more integrity and confidence that we're moving in support of each other, and not just the coattails of our privilege. Anyway, peace out, people. Hope you have a good week, and hopefully see you soon. Love to you, Cedric.